Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Dreamworld video, and in true Dreamworld devs have left them fashion, this episode is once again another banger. As usual, we'll start off with the patch notes and we'll work our way up to the juice. Lord have mercy on us with this update. Hunger reduced by 20%, emergency food added in all biomes, cactus plus mushrooms. Now, this is obviously in response to what we pointed out in last week's update. If you die and you respawn with absolutely no food, you don't have enough time to kill something and cook it before you die again. So these poor citizens of Dreamworld have had to deal with dying over and over and over for a week before they fixed this. Boss now prevents terraforming around it. Every player in the fight now gets guaranteed loot. Previously, one person could take it all. Why was that not a thing from day one? This is one of those oversights where you look at the developers and you really think, yeah, you have never, ever played an MMO. You haven't. Because this is something that you would never even introduce into the game as a patch. It would be there from day one. Flying and terraforming now uses smelted crystals, cost reduced 80%. Okay. So, to put this into perspective, they've changed an item ID and a percentage. Instead of saying, hey, this uses crystals now, they're saying, hey, this now uses smelted crystals. And it takes it away 80% slower than it previously did. A riveting 2 minutes worth of adjusting a number in the back end. And it's our favourite time of the week again, people. It's fluff time. FPS improved 50%. Right. No. I'm just saying that now. No. 50% extra from 1 frame per second is not an extra frame per second. Thank you, goodbye. Before we pull any more random numbers out of the air, did you know that you are 1050% safer when using a VPN? Whenever I'm doing research for one of my videos, I am usually led onto a website that I completely do not trust. Needless to say, I always use a VPN, which is why Atlas has sponsored this video. Using a VPN is essential for internet privacy. However, I've mostly been using it to unlock Netflix and Disney Plus shows that I can't watch in the UK, and to hide the fact that I own tiles on Earth too. If you're a film fanatic like me, you're probably very used to seeing that some films are not available in your country. Well, with Atlas VPN, that is a thing of the past. One click and you're in a different country. Now, most VPNs only serve one purpose, but your boy Atlas has you covered in more ways than one. If you believe your details have been leaked online, you can enter your email into their breach scanner tool and see if you've been the victim of a data breach. I've personally used this and I have to say it's an incredibly powerful tool to have access to. Atlas is currently running a massive deal on their 3-year plan for just $1.39 a month, with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This offer won't last forever though, so make sure to use my link and check out Atlas in the description below. 70% of crashes fixed. Time to introduce some new ones. That's probably the only honest bit about this. This is the Number Wang update.
Let's play Number Wang. Julie to play first.
3,
9,
16,
12,
8.2.
4.
That's Number Wang, round 2.
They just roll dice with every line that they put into this update, and they're just like, Zach, what percentage did you say we fixed of crashes? And he's like, well, 1 sec, let me get my D20 out. 70. Resource cheat fixed. All players' existing resources capped to 1k. Now, what they mean by this is each stack was capped to 1k. That goes for all items in their game. Now, what do you think Dreamworld forgot to do in this circumstance? They forgot to do the one sacred thing that you do as a developer every time you are reducing the maximum stack quantity of an item or resource. You always, you run the database through a program before you start a server that checks all item stacks that you are changing the maximum integer on. And it will take anything that is over 1000 in this case and split it into multiple stacks. Guess what they didn't do? Yep, they didn't do that. They did, in fact, just change the maximum integer and slash everybody's resources in those stacks down to 1k. Needless to say, there are people who had stacks of about 15k of the hardest to obtain crystals, and this goes for any resource, the easy to obtain ones and the hard to obtain ones. They have wiped people's chests and inventories clean of all these hard-earned resources. Way to just whip out your biggie smalls and just urinate over everybody who actually still supports this monstrosity. Steel removed. Iron tools / weapon durability increased 2 times. Each upgrade should feel more significant. Congratulations, you've just taken away one bit of progression your game actually had. Metal armor, crystal armor, and spirit lanterns significantly cheaper to make. Big flex emoji. I should hope so, because they're made of crystals, and in case we weren't just very clear on it, you just deleted loads of people's crystals. I feel like this was one of the asset pack field medics running in after they realised that they didn't redistribute all the stacks, and then they were like, shit, we need to reduce the cost. And then, sliceable resources can be collected in 50% larger chunks. All I can get from this is that trees and candy canes, the things that you know, slash and that the mesh is actually cut up into bits, you get 50% more from it. That's all we can seem to gather from this. Now, there's actually so much more juicy stuff this week compared to other weeks, so let's get started. Dreamworld was removed off itch.io. Now, this came to light when somebody in my Discord posted, hey, there's no button to buy it anymore on itch.io. So they saw somebody ask in the Discord, hey, I purchased it on itch.io and it's no longer buyable on there. So where's my game? And then someone else asked, yeah, how come it's not buyable on itch.io now? This to me screams that the itch.io disabled purchases on their page. I'll tell you why. They have had so many refunds, itch has actually had to properly step in now. The Discord moderators had no idea why Dreamworld wasn't able to be purchased off itch.io anymore. That should be an alarming sign. So they atted Zach and Garrison, who started to type immediately and then stopped. And it was about 30 minutes later that we actually got a response. Now, at this point, they probably realised, wait, we don't even know why you can't purchase it off there. Then all of a sudden, the page is updated to say, hey, we've closed purchases on here for now, which isn't the case. I can guarantee with absolute certainty they had no idea that itch had cancelled the ability for people to buy Dreamworld through there because of the refunds. So then we got this big PR response that was basically, oh yes, we're moving sales over to our website. Well, you still couldn't buy it off their website. If you're moving from selling on one site to another, you wait until it's listed on the other site before you remove it off the first one. There was a 2.5 day period where you couldn't purchase Dreamworld at all. So this was clearly an all-hands-on-deck rush to get purchases up and running on the Dreamworld site. Well, along with it came their brand new trailer. They remade their initial Kickstarter trailer using footage from last week's Fire Festival fireworks show. And their trailer says something that is very telling of where this game is about to go. This is the first time that they have started to walk back on their claims of what Dreamworld is. Do you remember the original trailer? Millions of players, one world. Well, now it's thousands of players. It's not magic. It's nonsense. It's the server technology that every server already uses. And it's only capable of thousands, as we discussed day one. As with every episode, we've always got the icing on the cake. And, well, this episode's no different. Garrison Belloc posted on his private LinkedIn, after going through Y Combinator at the beginning of this year and raising our seed round from amazing investors such as Andreessen Horowitz and Twitch co-founders, we've been heads down on development, excited to show you what we've all been up to, and linked that previous video. We just hired our 4th funding member and are continuing to grow. If you're interested in the digital world / gaming space, let's talk. They just said they've been invested in by Andreessen Horowitz. Do you know who Andreas Horowitz is? He's apparently one of the most respectable men in Silicon Valley. And he runs a company called A16Z. Now, if we look on this site, they publicly show their portfolio of investments, despite the fact that Andreessen Horowitz has apparently invested in them. There's absolutely no sign of this. It's nowhere on their website, nowhere on their portfolio, and their portfolio seems to be getting updated literally daily. So why is this? Is this just a quick tagging of a name to make it look like they're more invested in than they are? Or has the company realised that they're actually quite ashamed of the fact they invested in this scam and just hid them off their portfolio? Personally, I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm very eager to find out. Although, that is all we have time for this episode. As always, a huge thank you to the patrons, and we will be over on Twitch right now, playing some games, hanging out, and chatting about today's episode. So hop over and I'll see you on Twitch.